Bhaja Govindam, verse 9. Seek good company. Satsangatve nissangatvam, nissangatve nirmohatvam, nirmohatve nischalatatvam, nischalatatve jivan muktihi. Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Govindam Bhaja Mudhamate. Through the company of the good and wise people arises non-attachment. Through non-attachment arises the freedom from delusion. When there is freedom from delusion, there is unchangeable reality. On experiencing this unchangeable reality, there comes liberation or freedom. Seek Govinda, O foolish mind. Let's listen to a story based on verse 9. A master taught his disciple all that he knew. Having taught all the scriptures, he told the disciple that for the final teaching, he would have to go to a nearby ashram. He told the disciple to go to another guru there for the final teaching. The disciple was wondering why his guru would send him to another guru. He was much more knowledgeable than the other guru. Though in a dilemma, he decided to obey his guru and went to the nearby ashram to meet the other guru. To his surprise, the other guru had stopped teaching. He was engrossed in serving food to his disciples with love, cleaning up the leftovers as well as washing the dishes. The disciple saw this and learnt what it meant to serve out of love. Later, he noticed something profound. The Guru himself washed the dishes and kept them in order before he went to sleep. Next morning, he used to take out the dishes, wash them again, and start cooking. The disciple was wondering as to why the Guru should wash the dishes all over again in the morning when they had already been washed thoroughly earlier the previous night, and the dishes were not dirty either. He observed all such details and came back to narrate this to his earlier guru. He narrated, I cannot understand this strange fact of why should the guru in the ashram wash the already cleaned vessels again in the morning. Why should he do that? To which his guru replied, Yes, this is the understanding that I wanted you to observe and get totally. You cleanse your mind regularly, but your mind starts collecting dust along the way in the form of a clutter, foggy, and unclear understanding. Please do not say that you do meditation once and stop at that. So long as your mind gathers dust, it has to be cleansed. It's a constant process of cleansing and purifying our mind. Goal of every human is to realize his or her true self and finally merge in him or the source. When we are so much entangled in our daily duties, relationships and other activities of the world, we seldom have time or even bother to ponder about our actual self. We always associate ourselves with our body and relationships we have built around us. Later, when we lose these relationships or even when this body suffers, we are so unhappy. This is because we chase after something which is impermanent. True, it is not easy to understand this, and it's easier said than done. But satsang, or company of the good and wise people, at least propels us to think about who we are and what is the ultimate goal of life. Without a master or a good company, it's not easy for one to proceed into self-inquiry. So, company of the good is the first step towards self-realization. If we begin now, we know not when or in how many lifetimes we will achieve our goal, but we would have at least begun the journey on this path. Let's listen to a story for the students. A crow and a swan had become friends. One day, the crow took the swan to its house and made him sit on a dry and wilted tree. The place stank of dung, flesh, and bones that were scattered all around. The swan said, Brother, I cannot stay in such a dirty place, even for a moment. If you know of any pious place, you take me there. So, the crow then took the swan to the secret grove which belonged to the king, and made the swan sit on the tree, and then it sat near him. As the swan looked down, it saw the king sitting under the tree with his head exposed to the sun. The swan, which is of kind nature, out of compassion, spread out its wings to provide shade to the king, who felt some relief from the sun. But the crow, which is of an uncaring nature, dropped its excreta on the king's head. The king shot an arrow upwards, which brought the swan down, while the crow flew away quickly. The dying swan said, "O king, I am not the crow that dropped the excreta. I am the swan that lives in pure water. But due to the company of the mean crow, my life has been ruined." Just as positivity influences people, negativity also influences. One must always choose the right kind of friends and people to move around with. Satsang or company of good people can influence one in a positive way. A good person in a negative environment generally may not be recognized for his good quality and has to pay the brunt of being in the company of the wrong person. It is said, "Tell me your company and I will tell who you are." It is very important to have good company and friends from young age. One rotten fruit can spoil the entire basket of fruits. So, one must be careful in choosing their friends. The values which children develop at a younger age remains with them throughout their lives. Hence, company of good friends and value-based education from an early age is very vital. Jai Sai Ram.